Hello, good evening and welcome to SKTV. You're watching the Manipur Files. I'm Utpala Longjam, your host for tonight. Today's topic on the Manipur Files is AMIT Shah's peace in the Northeast. Since May 2023, Manipur has witnessed escalating violence, which Union Home Minister Amit Shah described as an ethnic clash recently and not linked to terrorism or religion, while accusing the opposition of politicizing the issue. Shah highlighted the peace achieved in Northeast India during the last decade under the BJP, pointing to successful peace accords, militant surrenders, and advancements in infrastructure development. Northeast India for a long time remained only in the speeches from New Delhi, he said, but tremendous infrastructure development under the Modi government has made the region easily accessible and lessened the distance of hearts among the people of Northeast India and New Delhi, he said. Amit Shah initially called the Manipur violence an ethnic conflict, but in August 2023, he linked it to Manipur High Court ruling on Meitei's scheduled tribe status, legacy issues, and illegal infiltrators from Myanmar. These inconsistent explanations over the past 19 months highlight a contradiction in his stance. While Shah has described it as an ethnic clash, the Chief Minister has blamed Myanmar infiltrators. This confusion between the two leaders has contributed to their failure to restore peace in the state. Overall, Amit Shah's response to the Manipur crisis has been a mix of indirect interventions, military deployment, and contradictory public statements, but the ongoing violence and unrest have led to continued criticism of the government's handling of the situation. To examine this crucial issue, I would like to introduce our respected panelists who will provide valuable insights and diverse viewpoints on the matter. I'd like to welcome Mr. N. Satyajeet, Bureau Head, UNI. Welcome to the Manipur Files, Mr. N. Satyajeet. Next, we have Mr. O. NABAKISHORE, Retired Chief Secretary and Politician. Welcome to the Manipur Files.
Thank you.
And joining us online, we have Dr. BOBO, Media Spokesperson, Delhi Meitei Coordinating Committee. Welcome to the Manipur Files, Dr. BOBO. Once again, a warm welcome to our three panelists, and let's begin our today's discussion with my first and opening question to Mr. N. Satyajeet. We can see that the situation is a bit contradictory. The statement that Amit Shah said about the Northeast, peace in Northeast. So how do Amit Shah's claims of significant peace in Northeast India align with the ongoing violence in Manipur? Does this reflect contradiction in the government's approach to conflict resolution? Or does this expose a gap between political rhetoric and ground realities?
Thank you, Amrita. Utpala. I would first start by saying that that people of Manipur wanted to see some announcement. They were expecting some announcement from the Union Home Minister, because since it was the meeting of the NEC was established in 1971, and basically NEC was established in 1971 to look after the service, to look after 7 states, although the it was amended and Sikkim was added later. But we have to understand that the Northeastern Council so far has done little to uplift the society from very perspective, and to oversee the developments, to see what it has done and what it has not done. So the plenary session is held every year, and yesterday it was held in Agartala. We welcome it because there were some positive aspects and there were some negative aspects also. And after the plenary session, there was a different meeting. Though it was not covered in most of the media, I would just like to add it. It was a meeting of the Northeast Space Application Center.
Okay.
It was convened by the Union Home Minister, and we have to understand that this organization has been in existence for the last 25 years. And during the last 25 years, we have not seen much activities related to space in the entire Northeast. But in that meeting, he for the first time he has recommended that 100 students from the region, they should go to ISRO headquarters so that they can see the scientific developments which have been taken up in the country. That is a good initiative. And the other initiative he has announced is, he announced that there should be a mapping of mineral, oil and coal which are available in the Northeast.
Okay.
And the third aspect which he announced is that there should be they should do an analysis of the demographic changes in the Northeast, especially in the Indo-Myanmar border. And he emphasized on border fencing and infiltration. Those are the issues which he dealt during this meeting. But during the NEC meeting, there was no mention about this issue, and he spoke only about the good aspects. He spoke about the one interesting aspect is he mentioned about the repeated visits by the Prime Minister to the Northeast, 67 times he said. But the question we, as citizen of this country and as a person who is living in Manipur is asking is, why hasn't the Prime Minister, who used to visit so often, hasn't visited Manipur so far? That is the issue, that is the question that we want to ask. And the other is, he also raised the issue of the cadres. 10,574 cadres surrendered so far. And in this aspect, what we want to raise is, we are facing some problems of some cadres who surrendered, though who didn't surrender but who signed agreement with the Government of India in 2008. Those cadres, even though they didn't lay down their arms, their organizations have increased, their activities have increased. I'm referring to the Kuki militants, and their number has also increased. When the agreement was signed, it was just 19 organizations. Now it is 25 organizations. So these are the core issues which he dealt with. And the other issue is, he dealt about the palm oil. He said he wants to take up palm oil at a drastic level. So what we can see from the developments during the last few days during the meeting of the NAC is that the Government of India wants to see what are the minerals available here and what can be extracted. And he also said that the minerals, whatever taken out, the people of the region will also benefit. The fund, they will directly come to the people also. Some percentage will come to the people also. So there is no other worry. But the issue which I want to raise is, for example, when the NEC was raised, the fund was not much. But if you look at the last few years, in the 2017-18, the fund allocation 1261 crore. And during this financial year, it was just 1925 crore. So, and this is the budget of the NEC. And if you look up the donor ministry, because since donor ministry deals with the development of Northeast, and the donor issues were also discussed during the meeting, I want to just point out one issue is that about, say, there was a commission which wanted to see the development gap between Northeast and the rest of India. It was done when I.C. Devegowda was the Prime Minister of India, and it was found that about 60,000 to 70,000 crores gap. There's a gap of 60,000 to 70,000 of gap, and if the Government of India announces 70,000 crore rupees, then the rest of India, that is Manipur and the rest of the country of the Northeast, they will be able to go at par with the other states. And so the fund was allocated. So that's why PM Devegowda decided to allocate 10% of the fund for the Northeast. But the problem is, the fund allocated, it is not used properly. And even though utilization, they said that utilization certificate is not issued, but what most of the states have complained that even though UC was submitted, the donor ministry is not sanctioning the money. So the amount which is not used properly, which is not yet sanctioned, is now around 90,000 crores. It is lying in the fund. It is lying in the non-lapsable central pool of resources, annual CPR of the Government of India. This 90,000 crores, if it is sanctioned, then there can be some development in the Northeast. But we feel that it is not sanctioned properly. And yesterday also, Union Home Minister announced that the PM Divine fund, it has been increased. But the problem is, even though the amount was increased, but the actual amount sanctioned was less than 30%. So amounts is not sanctioned. And if you look at the fund allocations of the PM Divine so far, then you will find that in Manipur, it has sanctioned only 55 crore. That is for Manipur Technical University. And this year, it was announced that rupees 202 crore will be sanctioned for a dental college in Tripura. That is a welcome step. But as far as Manipur is concerned, it is just 54 crore so far out of PM Divine Fund. Whereas Assam, it has received about 1,450 crore so far. You just see the change, and they have received huge amounts of money for development of religious places, etc., etc. But for Manipur, we haven't received much. So we feel, as citizen of this country, as a resident of Manipur, we want the government of India to be little sincere in dealing with the Manipur issue when it comes to sanctioning money also, whatever it is. And the other issue is, if you look at the financial capability of the people also, if you look at the PM Jan Dhan Yojana, it was announced yesterday that for Tripura, the amount is around 617 crore has been deposited by the people of Tripura. But it was not mentioned about Manipur. But when I look up at the data before coming here, I just look up the data of the PM Jan Dhan account. For Manipur, it was just 290 crore. People of Manipur, they are not able to deposit money because they don't have money. Whereas because in Tripura, though it is a very small state, they have been able to deposit 617 crore. And the area coverage of financial banking services, it has improved drastically in most of the northeastern states. So in our aspect, we are concentrating only on the security aspect. I'm diverting little bit from the security aspect because we have been discussing this for a very, very, very long time. So I wanted to discuss the economic aspect also. And Tripura also, for example, if you look at the medicine aspect also, Manipur has very good potential for medicine. We have traditional method of medicine also, but the problem is we are not getting fund for development because Arunachal has taken for traditional medicinal plant, and Tripura has demanded that there should be homeopathy and Ayurvedic college in Tripura. That is why the government of Manipur, it should be proactive, and it should little diverting from the issue. It can put up lots of suggestions, like we can demand homeopathic hospital because we have lots of infrastructure. We can tourism aspect also, and the other aspect which the Tripura governor he addressed was, if you look at the crisis, Mizoram has seen some crisis, and it was a little similar to the Manipur crisis. Because he said that in 1997-98, in Mizoram, there was a clash between the Mizos and the Brus. And so they went to Tripura, and they have been rehabilitated now. Just imagine the clashes happened in 1997, 1998, later in 2009. And for those people, the government of India has sanctioned 821 crore. Just see, it happened in 1997, the agreement was signed recently. So there's a huge gap. So from the way the government of India is taking up the initiative, there has been lots of positive aspects also. There has been some negative aspects also. But I think the government of Manipur should push the NEC, the donor ministry, to sanction huge amounts of money for various aspects, for connectivity, for banking services, there's the education, there are so many aspects. It is multidimensional. So in the first round, I will diverting the issue from security because I wanted to inform that there are many issues that we can raise. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your perspective on the economic aspect of Amit Shah's meeting. All right, so moving on to the next question to Mr. O. Nabakishore. The central government's responsibility for Manipur, considering Amit Shah's remarks on peace in Northeast India, the central government is accountable for the persistent unrest in Manipur, especially given its direct involvement in the region. Amit Shah has also faced significant criticism and demands for resignation over two issues: his handling of the Manipur crisis, and his controversial remarks about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. What are your thoughts on this, Mr. Nabakishore?
In fact, Mr. Amit Shah's, the statement that the peace is restored in the Northeast, he quoted, he gave some figures, saying that in the last 10 years there has been 71% reduction in violent incidents, and as much as 86% decrease in civilian deaths. And he also quoted that 10,574 insurgents have surrendered. So he is giving a macro picture of the entire Northeast, 7+1 states.
Right.
Well, I think his figures at the macro level may be correct, but if we look at the situation specifically for Manipur, it tells a different story.
Right.
The story of Manipur is known to everyone. There has been violence for the last about 20 months, and it has claimed more than 260 lives, and more than 60,000 people have been rendered homeless. And both sides, both the armed groups of the Cookies as well as the village volunteers of the Meitei, they are taking shelter in the bunkers, waiting for the other party to fire upon them, and ever ready to fight with each other and kill each other. They are just waiting for a moment of provocation, and this further violence is being stopped by the presence of the central security forces in the so-called buffer areas. But if anything happens, if any provocation happens, then there will be flare up.
Right.
And the so-called peace in Manipur is a lull in the midst of this violence. Suppose after around 19th of November till today, maybe about 1 month, there has not been much violence except for some skirmishes in Thamnapopi area, but it has not led to much violent clashes. But one is always apprehensive, and it again flare up anytime.
Yes.
Because the moment, especially the Chief Minister of Manipur says that there is a peace, Kuki groups are always wanting to use that opportunity to escalate the violence, because perhaps they are not interested in having peace in Manipur. If peace is there in Manipur, perhaps they may not have a justification for their demand for separate administration. They have some vested interest in the continuation of the violence in Manipur.
Right.
So, Mr. Amit Shah's statement may be correct at the macro level, but if one looks at the state level of Manipur, only for Manipur, it does not give a correct picture.
Okay.
As regards Amit Shah's statements, the changing goalposts or changing statements over the last 20 months, sometimes he says that it's due to the High Court's order, sometimes it is, he says, due to illegal immigrants, sometimes he says it is because terrorism, but lastly he says that it is an ethnic clash between the two communities. This is very much an oversimplification of what is happening at the ground level, and perhaps he is not briefed properly by the intelligence agencies. They have not tried to really understand what is the underlying causes for the conflict. There are too many reasons, Maybe I think the Cookies have been dreaming to have the cookie lane for more than 30-40 years. It has been in their mind, and they were just waiting for an opportune moment to seize that opportunity and push their demand. So this also should be recognized by the central authority as well as state government. Recently, if you recall, somebody filed an PIL in the High Court of Manipur regarding that violent incidents of the death of 6 persons, including 3 children, 3 women and 3 children. What did the central government say in their counter affidavit? They said that it is the duty of the state government to protect the children, to protect to maintain law and order. they are able to just pass on the buck to the state government,
Yes.
saying that it is the state government's failure. Whereas our government, state government has taken a position that this power of the law and order maintenance unified command has been taken away from the state chief minister, and chief minister would always say that even the intelligence is not shared with him for the last 15 years. He has washed his heads of the the maintenance of law and order. So neither the central government is owning the responsibility, nor the state government is owning the responsibility. We the people of Manipur are left high and dry. There is nobody to look after. So that's why the civil society organizations are questioning what is the agenda of the government of India.
Absolutely.
Why they are not taking concrete actions, So one thing they can do is that disarm the people who are fully armed to the teeth, Maybe this applies to both sides, So when they are disarmed, then our central government or state government can talk to them from a position of strength. Now the position of strength is with the armed groups, They are armed and they are ever ready to fight and assault anybody, So it appears that government of India as well as state governments are not sincere enough to solve our problems. They have lost their way. They don't know where to go, So again, Mr. Amit Shah's statement is maybe okay for notice, but we expected, the people of Manipur expected that he should at least mention Manipur in his speech, and he should also spell out his plan of action to resolve this crisis.
Okay.
On the other hand, he is just telling us all good things about look is policy, egg is policy. What is look is policy? What is egg is policy? There is no development in Manipur. Our GDP has become negative. There is negative growth. Actually, if you just look at every business person in Manipur, they will always report that their sale business volume has come down by 50%. Unemployment rate has gone up. Our inflation rate is the highest in the country at 9%, 10%. How can the people of Manipur continue to suffer so much in this environment? No development, How do development takes place? One is the role of the government. Another is the private investment. Whatever private investment which was expected to come to Manipur from outside has stopped because of the unsafe kind of environment. On the other hand, new investment which is to come from within the state, that has also slowed down extremely because banks are not able to provide further credit to business people because repayment of the existing loan borrowed has been defaulted in many cases, and many people are now in great difficulties. So in this kind of scenario, to talk about development is very, very contradictory in the sense that both development and the peace go hand in hand.
Yes,
when there is no peace, when there is no violence, it is really difficult to expect development to take place. So first of all, in case of Manipur, please don't talk about development. Just focus on bringing peace and normalcy to the state.
Thank you for expressing your thoughts. I'll move on to Dr. Naureen Bobo. Mr. O. NABAKISHORE spoke about the statement made by Mr. Amit Shah to be correct at the macro level, but not where Manipur is concerned. So, but again, the reimposition of AFSPA coupled with the protected area permit, which PAP system, recently in Manipur, Nagaland and Mizoram, suggests that the region is still perceived as unstable, challenging the narrative of peace that Amit Shah promotes. Currently, AFSPA is also in effect in parts of Nagaland, Assam, Manipur and Arunachal. That's parts of 4 states of the Northeast. How do you interpret the situation?
Utpala, good evening to our firstly to respected speaker. In his view, that Honorable Home Minister, what he has stated, it may be generally for the rest of the Northeast state. But what I view in his statement is that what he's talking about peace. If see what the people of Manipur means the peace is that when I am able to go to More, when I am able to go to Shambu, when I am able to cross to buffer zone of the Kangpopi, when I am able to access to the highways of Manipur, when I wanted to go any part of the Manipur, and every responsible citizen who is a responsible citizen of Manipur in India, if he is allowed to go any part of the Manipur and he can return to his home whenever he wanted, whether it is in the midnight, whether it's in the daytime, that is called a definition of peace in Manipur at presently. We don't call the peace when we are not able to cross from Werang, when we are not able to cross from Palel, when we are not able to cross from Kangpokpi. That does not mean that the people of Manipur, especially to the Meitei community, that we are in a peaceful and coexistent living together with the different communities of Manipur. So what the Home Minister has stated, peace maybe in other part of the Northeast, but I don't think it is peace. What he has mean is in the state of Manipur. See, again, if you come back to what you have said about the ASFA and PAP regime, which have started again from this year,
Yes.
that means where is the peaceful solution? Right. So when you have expanded the peace, this ASFA in different parts of the districts of Manipur again, then that means there is a restriction that Armed Force Special Power Act, which is very draconian law, which has been followed in Manipur since after the merger agreement. It's 1958. Then it has been going on this in 21st century. That means there is no such a peaceful, or there is a restriction which is not allowed to the common citizen of this country and common citizen of our state. Then how can we term that the term called peace? Right. We have to just analyze it deeply, that what people of Manipur wanted to become a peaceful Manipur, and what the other part of the country want to say that that Manipur is in a peaceful state. That we have to differentiate it. And another thing is that if we go on to these political ways, then in different political parties are throwing their ball to each other today, yes, but defending their own this ideology of politics, not concerning of the last 19 months which we have suffering, especially to Meitei communities. Yes. See the inflation rate of economic rate of our Meitei community, yes, and see the education system of our Meitei community. See the day-to-day daily wages of Manipuri people who have been losing their job, who have been suffering, and who have been attacked by the Kuki militants, and those IDPs victims who are still not able to return to their original places. Then how can we call it is a peaceful solution, or peaceful that which we are living in a peaceful atmosphere? So as a citizen of Manipur, I don't think it is called a peace or peaceful atmosphere is going on in Manipur. We cannot claim that in the center of this Imphal there is no violence. That it does not mean that in Manipur there is a peace. Right. So every part of the Manipur, it should be in peaceful way, and peaceful way that we can go everywhere, we can live together with the different communities, including 34 communities which is recognized by the government.
Yes.
And those Kukizo militants who are attacking and trying to destruct and divide the Manipur, that's what people of Manipur was expecting from the Home Minister, that they should have arrest them, or they should have driven out those militants who are illegal immigrants. Then the people of Manipur have said, yes, something has been done by the central government, something has been done for us. Then we have been that expecting for last 19-20 months. Then why it is still today, why it is not implemented in the practical way, why they are throwing the balls in a political level. Some of the BJP says something, some of the Congress party says something, why people are common citizen of our Manipur have been keeping in a dilemma. So what is a citizen, what is a layman, what is a common person of resident of Manipur, I'll term that peace whenever there is peace in Manipur means whenever we are able to go any part of our Manipur, when we are able to go every part of it in any way, in any manner, then that is called peace.
Okay.
That I would like to keep this statement in first round.
Thank you for your input, Dr. Noreen Bobo. So continuing with the discussion, I'll come to Mr. N. Satyajeet. Well, Dr. Noreen Bobo said we all know, absence of violence doesn't mean there's peace. So let's talk about the Manipuri Meiteis. The Manipuri Meiteis are being suffocated in their own land, unable to travel safely by road beyond the valley region, as mentioned, and restricted to only 6% of Manipur and largely ignored by the nation. The region is rife with insecurity, turning daily survival into a constant battle. With expensive flight tickets and dangerous highways, their connection to the rest of the country is hindered. In such dire circumstances, making us question if it is too much to expect basic rights and security in our homeland. This stands in stark contrast to Amit Shah's claim of peace in the Northeast. How does this reality align with Amit Shah's claim of peace in the Northeast?
Utpala, immediately after the Northeastern Council meeting, we would have appreciated if they had come down here, the entire team, if not the entire team, at least the Union Home Minister, the Donor Minister, the Minister of State, if they had come down here and discussed the Manipur issue, as you have pointed out, because this is the burning issue. If they had not discussed the burning issue, that means that meeting is irrelevant. Because there is no question of holding assembly or parliament session or even NEC meeting or donor ministry meeting if the Manipur issue is not discussed. Because this is a burning issue which has been continuously raising on for the last 19 months. As you spoke about the suffocation, our freedom, right to religion, right to free speech, everything has been violated, everything has been cut off since the last 19 months. Imagine a situation where if Indian citizens are not allowed to visit Ayodhya, what would have happened?
Right.
If the Christians were not allowed to visit Vatican, if the Muslims were not able to visit Makkah, what would have happened? And imagine a scenario where some people change the name of Makkah to something else. Imagine a scenario where they change the name of Ayodhya to something else.
Right.
That has happened in Manipur. We have not been allowed, we are not able to go to our religious place, which we used to go every year.
Yes.
And we still remember, because since we go to Kobru every year, we still remember since our childhood, we still have photographs about how green it was, how beautiful it was, how we used to freely go. But after 2008, when after the agreement, signing of the agreement, some Kuki militants started appearing in the Kobru Hills. And I still remember at that period, there was no IG Assam Rifles. At that time, it was controlled by 9th sector from Assam, from the Kangla. So we interacted with the brigadier in Assam Rifles in Kangla, and we informed him that during a press conference, we discussed the issue that now extortion has increased. Now we are not able to move freely because they are wielding arms. So what do you think about that? He said it will take time, since they have come to mainstream. Naturally, after few years they will stop. But the exact opposite has happened. Their numbers have increased, number of villagers have increased. So we have seen a drastic change. And we were just mute spectator. We are not able to do anything. That is one issue. Then the other issue which you discuss is about the economic issue, because about train, because since we are not able to move on the national highways, we have to depend on the aeroplanes. And in Guwahati, we have just about 4 flights. And day before yesterday, I also purchased a ticket because one of my family had to go to. And the prices, it has drastically increased. And so what we recommend is, during this NEC meeting and donor ministry, the government of Manipur could have requested the minister himself, the home minister, that there should be a cap on the prices.
Yes, exactly.
Because the private companies, what they do is their main motive is profit, and they know that especially the Meiteis, they will not be able to travel on the national highways. So they will be compelled, and they have to travel on airways, even whether it is expensive or not. And it exactly happened during an earthquake in Nepal. Most of the airlines, they hike the prices to 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, because people had to depend, because because it is a matter of survival.
Right.
And since people are going to Delhi for Guwahati for treatment, for education, for whatsoever reason, the government of Manipur should have requested at least to keep a ceiling from which there should be no increase. Because and the Meghalaya government has done it.
Okay.
Meghalaya government has requested the center not to increase the price from a certain level. So I think there are so many things that the government of Manipur can do. And during this meeting also, immediately after the meeting, we have seen statements given by the Tripura Chief Minister, then most of the states. But still, I think the Manipur governor and the Manipur Chief Minister, they must have also submitted some memorandum or some proposals. But we still, the government has not yet released it. And we are still expecting a press statement from the Manipur government that what about what they have requested from the NEC and from the Union Home Minister. And the other issue is, during the meeting also, the Mizoram our Chief Minister was sitting next to the Mizoram Chief Minister, and I was just thinking yesterday if they had discussed, because they had lots of problems during the last, especially after the Mizoram Chief Minister spoke in the US, and so I thought they must have discussed it. They must have discussed, or they may not have discussed, I don't know. But during the meeting also, I think that the Manipur issue, especially about the people, about women and children, how they are suffering, how they are not able to go to the schools, they are not able to go to the colleges. And yesterday there was a report in a national paper that most of the inquiries related to Manipur, even those ordered by the Supreme Court, it is not moving ahead. It is going in a very slow pace.
Okay.
Because if you look at the cases of Lithuangambi, Hemajit missing cases, it is going slow. And even in the cases of Jiribam, where three women and three children were killed, that case has been taken over by NIA, and that is going slow. But the Chief Minister himself had announced immediately after the incident that some people who were involved in it, they have been identified, and they would be declared as wanted. So as a citizen of this nation, as people who have been suffering since a very long time, we want the government to be very sincere and to be very active also. And there is some difference between a government during peace time and during war time. And wartime leaders are different.
Yes.
They have to be in touch with the people. They should not be angry, and they should reach out to the people, and they should discuss in a systematic manner. But what happened is, even during this crisis, if you remember yesterday, there was a memorandum was submitted to the governor by the Congress, stating that there is no winter session this year. I mean, as per the rules and procedures of the State Assembly, there should be at least three.
Yes.
But problems, we had just two, and it was not held properly also. One of the session lasted a few minutes also, and there should be a mandatory 50 sittings as per the rule. Those has been violated. So we feel that we should have more discussion in the parliament and in the assembly, outside also, so that the government will be able to know what the people are suffering also. And there are some issues which need to be dealt. That is related to the essential commodities, because today I saw a report that the prices have increased due to the extortion on the national highways. The national highways have been used by some organizations, some militant organizations, by terrorists to earn money, and those money they have been taken from us, and those money are used to procure weapons and to attack us. So that means the arms which have been used to attack us are purchased by ourselves. We are buying our own, we are signing on the debt warrant, it seems. So I think the government has to first open the highways, clear the highways, then open at least Koburu, Thangjik, at least ensure that the exit policy is possible by going up to More, and we should also allow students from other places to go to RIMS, because students from Churachampur, they are not able to come to RIMS and all. I think at least students and or those coming for medical grounds, they should be allowed to go freely. Whoever, whether Kuki or Maiti, whosoever, who are going for treatment or highway to the airport, And that should be the first initiative. And if the government can do that, I think we have achieved a major success.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate your take on this, Mr. N. Satyajeet. So moving on to Mr. O. NABAKISHORE. As Mr. N. Satyajeet said, the leaders should be in touch with the people. What role do you think that the central government should play in addressing the economic isolation of Manipur, where high flight costs, unsafe highways, inflation, and a rising cost of living exacerbate hardships for the residents of Manipur?
All of us know that Manipur has been isolated.
Yes.
Because of the presence of the Kuki militants along National Highway number 2 as well as National Highway number 37. So Meitei community is not safe to travel by this road. That's why I think they are forced to fly out of Manipur by paying heavy ticket prices. That is one great difficulties, and perhaps the solution is either the state government or the central government subsidize the fares. Is all because of the situation they are compelled. Perhaps the central government can also help. I say for anything which is above the cap, or ceiling, that will be paid by the central government. But I don't know whether the commercial carriers will agree to bring down the fare. If not, the government can always do that.
Yes.
Again, second point is that Manipuri is just like open jail or concentration camp. Sometimes we talk about Gaza Strip.
Yes.
Gaza Strip is nothing but they call it open jail or concentration camp, where the Israeli security forces do not allow these Palestinian people to move out of that area freely.
Right.
So in the same way, the Meiteis are not allowed to come out of the valley, but in all directions.
Right.
So we are confined to our valley areas. So it is nothing but an open jail or concentration camp. But how long will the government of India or the state government take this kind of a situation as normal? So they have to find certain ways to open these national highways so that these people can travel freely. At least some kind of agreement, understanding can be reached with the Kuki militant organizations who are not allowing these free passages. Even when the chief minister tries to go to Senapati, Kuki people boycott it, and the chief minister is not allowed to travel. If the chief minister is not safe to travel on the road, are the normal people or common people safe? They are not safe. So people know what is safe is unsafe. So there the intervention of the central government and the state government is required. Second thing is about the extortion, which Satyajeet mentioned. Extortion, especially in these two highways, is extremely high. On National Highway number 2, Imphal Dimapur, earlier it was extortion mostly by the NSNIM and inspection. Per entry, they were charging 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees. Whereas now the Kuki militants in the Kangpokpi, they are charging between 10,000 to 20,000 rupees per truck, per goods truck. And minimum about 200 trucks pass through Kangpokpi every day. And I calculate, even at the rate of 10,000 rupees per truck, they collect as much as 20 lakh rupees per day. And in a month, they collect about 6 crore rupees. So 6 crore is a lot of money, and it can be used for various purposes. Like Satyajeet says, it can be used to procure weapons.
Yes.
So it is a good source of finance for waging the war. Similarly, on National Highway number 37, as far as I know, for every oil tankers, I think they have to pay about 6,500 rupees to various kinds of the organizations, including the Meitei organizations also. Meitei militant organizations. Let's not exclude, let's not only say that Kukis are the only one who are collecting money.
Right.
All armed groups are collecting, including Meiteis, So again, 6,500 per truck, and if about 400, 500 tankers come, again, you just do the maths and you know how much. So these are the sources of money which is fueling the conflict. So there are people who may not be interested in having peace. If peace comes back, this collection of money either by the NSAN or by the cookies or Meitei, that opportunity will not be there. So there are vested interest in continuation of the violence in Manipur. There are vested interest. So that is for them is better. So you ask, what should the central government do?
Yes.
The central government should do two things. Two things is, one is suggested by lots of military experts, retired army officers or Assam rifle officers or experts. The first thing is to disarm both the sides. So even I say, let's not shy of saying that in the Meitei areas also they said that as many as 5,000 arms have been looted,
yes,
or handed over by the state government as alleged by others. So out of these 5,000, hardly 2,000 have come back, and 3,000 are in the hands of the so-called volunteers. And similarly, in the hills of Kuki areas also, they have also looted about 2,000 weapons. Plus, they are procuring weapons from outside, especially from Myanmar. So when these weapons are so much available with the militant groups and arms groups, it's difficult to start the peace talks or ceasefire. But even if these arms are not disarmed or taken away from them, at least there can be a ceasefire to create an environment for negotiations between the Meitei groups, Government of India and the state government. So that kind of atmosphere should be first created. Next step is that since the state government is not able to do anything, it has washed its hands, because again, so long as our chief minister is there, cookies are not willing to talk to the state government. Okay, let it be so. Then let the central government take the full responsibility. Let them call the warring groups to the table and discuss what is their grievances, what is their demand. Just try to find out a middle ground and try to reach an agreement so that people can go back to their original places. As Bobo says that the people Meitei should also go back to Surachandpur. People Meitei should also go back to More. Similarly, we should also not saying that cookies who have fled from Imphal should also come back to the Imphal, to their homes. We should not only speak about the Meiteis, we should not be Meitei centric,
Right.
If we want to have a united or Manipur, we should also talk about the sufferings of the cookies also. Cookies have also suffered. We should not shy away saying that cookies have not.
Yes.
Cookies have suffered, Meiteis have suffered, Nagas have also suffered. So all these sufferings should be kept in mind and try to have a kind of a dialogue, because all over the world in the past as well as present, even there is a push for negotiation. We are expecting to have some kind of a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine as soon as Donald Trump assumes his office on 20th of January. If that can happen, why this cannot happen in Manipur? Government of India is so powerful. I don't know why it is not sincerely taking any concrete measure to resolve our problem, to initiate dialogue. It appears to be very, very kind of ambivalent or indifferent, in the sense that it is justifying this kind of conflict, saying that looking at the problem in Manipur as if it's a legacy problem, as it is happening. So it is quite, they are saying that it is quite commonplace to see the Meiteis and Nagas or cookies and the Meiteis to engage in conflict. They also did in the past. So there is nothing wrong in seeing the Meiteis engaging in cookies. So they are waiting for these groups to be worn out and to stop fighting after they are tired. So this kind of attitude will not solve our problem. They have to be sincere, and our chief minister, the Manipur government also, when they are not able to solve the problem, they should also request the central authorities at least to take some action. That also appears not to be done. That's why we are left high and dry.
Right. Thank you so much for your perspective. Moving on to Dr. Naureen Bobo, my closing question for tonight. Given Amit Shah's inconsistent statements, over-reliance on military interventions and failure to facilitate meaningful dialogue between the Meitei and Kuki communities, how do you assess the effectiveness of his approach in resolving the Manipur crisis? And as Mr. NABAKISHORE said that maybe they're waiting for the crisis to get over, resolve on its own. So in your opinion, do you foresee a strategic solution for the government, or are we just going to wait for this issue to subside to resolve on its own?
See, Utpala, that the question which you have raised is that, see, let us first come back to this method. I just wanted to go back to method. So before method, none of our COSOs, none of our Myra Pipes, none of our volunteers or none of our so-called village volunteers, there has been no such kind of this volunteers, village volunteer, or none of our Myra Pipes have blocked the road or have come out to protest in the street. After method, when there was tribal, the solitary rally in different parts of the hills, and when they started to attack the Meitei communities, suddenly, and they have chased out all the Meiteis which are living in peripheral areas of the Manipurs, when they have started to all burn down the houses and properties of the Meitei, especially targeting the Meitei communities. After that only the civil societies, the village volunteer force and many others have come out to the street of Manipur and to save the integrity and territorial integrity of Manipur. So this is the point I want to highlight. Before none of our CSOs or none of our volunteers have come out against the government, against any communities or against any different communities which have been living for many years. We have never been attacked any of the communities by the Meitei. So what I like to say is that when there is a threat, when there is a attack on innocent civilians of Meitei communities, when there is a threat in national integrity, and when there is a threat in Manipur integrity, when they try to destroy, they try to divide Manipur, whenever the Myra Pipes, the civil society have come out to protect it, the common citizen of our Manipur have come out to protect it. That's the main point which I want to highlight. Secondly, when we talk about peaceful solution, that if we are going to live together, coexist together with peaceful condition, without any dividing Manipur or without any destructing the territorial integrity of Manipur, then we can go forward for a peaceful and progressive Manipur. But when there is a hidden agendas of dividing the Manipur and dividing into union territories, dividing into separate administration, that we the Meitei people have been safeguarding this for many thousands years, including all the communities who have been living for indigenous communities who have been living for many years.
Yes.
We have never tried to divide and rule policies. So when we have united, when we are trying to live in united way, then we can only go forward for a peaceful solution. But we cannot go dialogue or peaceful solution by dividing Manipur and destroying Manipur. That I would like to highlight.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Naureen Bobo. This brings us to the end of this discussion. So Amit Shah's approach to peace in Northeast, particularly Manipur, has been marked by a focus on security and military intervention with significant reliance on AFSPA and paramilitary forces. While he has highlighted progress in reducing insurgency and improving infrastructure across the region, his handling of the Manipur crisis has been inconsistent with conflicting statements on its causes and has attracted a lot of criticism. His failure to initiate a political dialogue and address ethnic grievances has been criticized, leading many to question whether his strategy will bring lasting peace or whether a more inclusive political solution is needed. Before we leave, I'd like to thank our panelists once again for their valuable time and insights. And to our viewers, thank you for watching SKTV. We hope you'll join us again next Sunday on the English edition of the Manipur Files. I'm Utpala Longjam, your host, signing off. Have a great night and a great week.